Looking for a system to beat the London? Stay tuned, we have one for you. This is a game between Eric, a ChessGoals member, against a 1309 opponent. This is played in an over-the-board classical event. And Eric is a VIP Patreon for ChessGoals. We have a link to join our Patreon in the description below. And he also follows our Dynamic Slav course. Right now it's $10 off for limited time. Notes in the description below. So we have d4, d5, knight f3, bishop f5, bishop f4, e6, e3, bishop d6. Now, one thing Eric is doing a little bit differently than the ChessGoals course is he put the bishop out on f5, where in our course typically we recommend keeping that bishop back here. But this idea that he uses after bishop g3, queen e7, this is what comes from the course. So we usually have this position with the bishop back on c8, but there's this cool idea here. Bishop takes g3, h takes back, followed by queen to b2, checking the king and hitting, queen to b4, checking the king, hitting the b2 pawn. So that's kind of the idea. And one thing we try to do in the ChessGoals opening courses is look for lines that are a little bit offbeat, but also tricky and where we can play for the initiative. So that's what Eric is doing here. He's playing for the initiative with this subtle looking move, queen to e7, that packs a punch. Now here his opponent finds the strongest reply, bishop to h4. This is a good move. And Eric responds with f6. Now the threat is to probably play like g5 and h5. And I bet Eric's opponent saw this coming. So one thing that I like to think about when kind of going through openings or even like middle game plans is how comfortable will the opponent be depending on which moves we play. So if we look at this from White's point of view, let's flip the board. You see a move like f6 being played, and now you're thinking, okay, what's the plan here? I see g5 and h5 coming, and I saw kind of this combination of queen e7, f6. Both of those moves seem a little bit odd. Maybe I can try to quickly punish this kind of strange setup that black is doing. And I think that's why Eric's opponent played the next move. He played knight to e5. So what he's trying to do is sneak the queen in here with queen to h5 check. And he sees that the bishop on h4 pins the f6 pawn to the black king, so there's no pawn takes back. So what Eric did in the game was bishop takes e5, and after d takes e5, what Eric's opponent missed is queen to b4 check. Now, this is a over-the-board classical game, and White is over 1300. So I think that just goes to show, like, if you can get your opponent a little bit uncomfortable, this is the psychology of chess, they will make mistakes. And 1300s, those are solid players, and this is a mistake that drops a bishop already on move 8. So after d takes e queen b4 check, there's nothing White can do. So now let's show how Eric finished this game, because I think this is really instructive. One thing that a lot of players need work on is how to realize the advantage, how to take a position that should be winning. You know, the computer could win this all day long against another computer, but as humans, are we able to convert this against another human who's trying to make the game as complicated as possible? So let's watch how Eric converts this, because I was really impressed by not only Eric's opening, but the rest of this game. Like, he just played a really strong game here. So Eric, I hope you don't mind. I'm showing off your game just because I'm so impressed by it. So after knight c3, queen takes h4. That wins the bishop. And now I think his opponent's doing the right thing, playing aggressively. Knight to b5, threatening this c7 pawn with a fork of king and rook. Eric comes back, queen b4 check. c3, probably the only move. Queen to c5. So Eric isn't overreacting. He's not getting real aggressive and trying to grab the b2 pawn, maybe get in danger of the queen getting trapped back there. He's just saying, okay, I'm up a whole piece. Let's retreat the queen. His opponent plays b4, trying to kick this queen around some more. And Eric plays a cool collected move, queen to e7. Now queen to a4 by the opponent again. Doing a good job trying to create threats. We have these double checks in the air. And look what Eric does. Develops a piece, blocks the double check, and the queen on e7 is still guarding the c7 pawn. So there's nothing that white can do immediately. The opponent plays knight to d4, creating another threat. Knight takes, pawn takes, queen takes will be a fork. So what does Eric do? Slides the queen over to d7. So he doesn't mind making a couple extra queen moves. He knew this queen was exposed up on white's side of the board. Maneuvered the queen back to d7, guarding all the threats one at a time, knowing that this extra piece will allow him to convert once he gets developed. Knight takes c6 was played. And again, this is a bit of a trap. If queen takes c6, bishop to b5, pinning the queen to the king. So Eric saw this coming, played b takes c6. Slight damage to the pawn structure, but every piece of white's that gets traded off reduces the chances of white coming back in the game. So white only has one minor piece left, the bishop on f1, and the rooks aren't doing anything right now for white. So this position is very safe for Eric. b5 is played. Again, setting the same trap. If pawn takes pawn, bishop takes back. So look what Eric does. I'll grab this pawn. I'll take this big center. I'll open up f6 for my knight, and I'm ready to castle soon. So his opponent grabs the c pawn. And again, Eric is forced to move the queen. He finds a safe square. After f3, knight f6. So look at what Eric is doing, getting everything developed. And again, I give his opponent a lot of credit. The opponent dropped a piece early on, but after that he's done a great job. I shouldn't say he. I blocked out the name. They're doing a great job blocking the castling route for black. But look what Eric does here. Queen to e7. Yeah, we'll take this queen trade all day, being up an extra piece. White queenside castles, and Eric simplifies by trading the queens off, and now plays a6. So taking this one move to slow down white, knowing that he will connect the rooks on the very next move. White plays h4, probably going for some sort of trap of the bishop, trying to win the piece back. But Eric can calculate that this is going to save the piece, bishop g6 and retreat. So he's fine with this. g4, bishop g6, king b2 by white, and bishop to e8. So now Eric is ready to come on the offensive. b5 is played, and after a takes, bishop takes, rook to b8. This bishop is now pinned to the king, and bishop takes c6 is threatened. So look at how smoothly Eric has played this. Just kept everything under control, kept developing, kept calculating out the threats, and I don't know the amount of time spent per move, but it feels like Eric has done everything in a balanced way. Like he doesn't feel like he's under time pressure at this point. It doesn't seem like he rushed anything early on. He hasn't made any mistakes this whole game. It's really been a good game by Eric. King a3, and now we see this trade. And after rook takes b5, it's going to be a forced checkmate because this rook is swinging over. And here, Eric's opponent resigns. So what a smooth game by Eric. And what I like about this is it all came down to kind of the psychology of this idea. Queen e7 here was the turning point. White made one strong move after queen e7, bishop h4, and then on the very next move blundered a piece. It's really hard to get a 1300 to blunder a piece on move 7 in an over-the-board classical game. So I think that's like the biggest takeaway for you guys as viewers. Look for different moves to make your opponent uncomfortable, whether that's a part of your opening repertoire, or if that's, you're deciding between two middle game ideas. One of them is easy for your opponent to play, one of them is more complicated. Go for the route that's more complicated for your opponent, because we all make mistakes, and the harder the questions are for your opponent, the more likely they are to make mistakes in the game. So if you're interested in a repertoire that's already built for you, At ChessGoals, we have 3 different opening courses. We have one for white. It's the classical 1d4 course. And then for black, we have 2 opening courses currently. We have the Caro-Kann course, which covers everything after 1e4. And then our brand new course, which does not have videos yet, but you can pre-order it and you will get the videos as they arrive. It's our Dynamic Slav course. It's a triangle-based repertoire. We go for kind of this d5, e6, c6 setup. And we've gotten great feedback so far. People seem to really like it. You get the PGN file, so you get all the moves, all the notes. It's 10 different chapters, 8 to 10 lines each. And it's based on lines that we expect you to see at the club level. So these aren't based on Grandmaster games. We show you common mistakes and how to punish them, and we talk through the plans. So we're really big on getting positions that you know the plans better than your opponent and playing for the initiative. So if you look in the description below, right now there's $10 off for a limited time on the Slav course, but then also check out our other 2 courses as well. And let me know what you think in the comments. Alright, so thanks for watching. Please give the video a like and subscribe if you're not a subscriber. Eric, if you're watching this, awesome game. Really good game. I'm happy you shared it. Alright, thanks for watching everyone. We'll see you in the next video.